We've spoken about best practices for storytelling as well as the key components of telling stories. But today I want to dive into how you can go about incorporating storytelling into your organization's broader communication plan. Like with everything in marketing communications, you should start with your audience. In deciding how frequently you want to use stories, where you want to feature them, and even which stories get featured, you want to make sure you're tailoring your efforts to resonate with your audience's interests, values, and concerns. Then we have to connect those audience interests, values, and concerns back to our goals to consider how stories can help us move our mission forward. We should clearly outline the key messages and stories that align with our nonprofit's mission and values. That's going to help us identify core themes and impact areas you want to communicate around. When we align storytelling with specific organizational goals, whether it's fundraising, volunteer recruitment, or awareness building, we should be able to articulate the desired outcomes and calls to action associated with each story. So if you think about your audience and you consider your organizational goals and you identify themes that you want to use to craft impactful stories, now we have to put a calendar to storytelling just like we do with all of our other marketing content. So plan when and where you're going to share your stories, ensuring a consistent and cohesive narrative over time. And be mindful that storytelling is often going to have multiple parties involved. It's going to take time to produce, and it's going to need approvals from more than one person. So be sure to plan production timelines into your calendar by backing them up from your target go-live date. The amount of production time you'll need to fully develop your story will depend on the variety of communication channels you plan to use and the formats you need. These may include various social media channels, as well as use in email newsletters, blogs, on your website, and at events. Each platform is going to offer you unique opportunities to share different aspects of your story, but you want to keep in mind how heavy of a lift customizing for each channel might be and whether your team has the expertise to really do that efficiently. What works on social media may differ slightly from what's effective in a newsletter or during a fundraising event, so you want to adapt your content accordingly. And when you do share, consider what type of engagement is possible on each channel or platform. Encourage dialogue and interaction with your audience wherever you can. Respond to comments, ask for feedback, and create opportunities for supporters to share their own stories related to your cause and their own connections to your mission. User-generated content adds authenticity and diversity to your narrative. You'll often uncover stories that you've never heard before or identify advocates for your brand that you may not even yet have a relationship with. So making storytelling part of your ongoing marketing communication strategy means that you are always going to need stories. You want to keep a close eye on user contributions and track the performance of your storytelling efforts. Use analytics to assess engagement, reach, and impact of your stories, and evaluate what works well to refine your approach as you move through next rounds of content development. And finally, stay consistent. Storytelling should be a regular part of your content calendar, so it helps reinforce your nonprofit's brand and builds a cohesive narrative across your audience and all of your communication channels.